Hello and welcome back to what is round two of a long night that was supposed to be relatively straightforward. We are here for a very special video. My name is Jay. Join with me are my lovely co-hosts Alex and Sean. Thank you for joining me. A long night. Originally, the plan was to help run through the lists for the first Mountain Goat Gaming's GT. This is in hopefully one of many lineage big tournaments for Mountain Goat Gaming. It'll be a 2-day 120-point Queensland League event that will be 5 games rolled random pool veto. So this is about as competitive as you can get, and I'm incredibly humbled to say that we've sold out at 40 players, and we've got a couple of Victorians traveling from down south, and pretty much only 2 Victorians, and we've got 38 Queenslanders showing up.
Massive.
Fantastic showing, guys.
I'm stoked. I'm really genuinely humbled and cannot thank Queensland enough for supporting us. And, you know, it just wouldn't feel right if the 3 of us weren't there for the first Mountain Goat Gaming Open tournament. And
absolutely,
yeah, Jesus Christ, it's exciting. I'll be the TO for the event. Both Alex and Sean will be playing in the event as players, and can help me, rule query here and there. But I'm buzzed. I'm really buzzed. We have in total, I think I've totaled it up, we've got nearly 6 new players who are either brand spanking or returning to the hobby after 20 years. So I'm super excited.
That's the stat we want to hear, dude.
We want.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
This is what we want in that hobby. Bring more people in.
Chuffed. So look, I think that's the rundown of the tournament here. The way the video is going to work today is both Sean and Alex are going to do a bit of a deep dive into their list, and then we've all gone through the lists in the last 2 hours prior, and both Sean and Alex have selected a list that they would like to show to us. We're going to go through a bit of a deep dive. How does it work? What does it do? Why we think it can do, certain things in certain situations, and really kind of pull it apart. And then at the end, we're going to write the Gumby TO list that I will need to source within a week and a half.
And typically, we've been told we're not allowed to talk about it beforehand. We are making it on the spot and just seeing what happens. But before we get into it, you know what you should do?
Get in
the comments.
Oh,
I got one more thing. I would like to thank the sponsors of Mountain Goat Gaming. This is huge for us, and I can't really believe that I'm saying this, but thank you to BARD'S Table and to Hamish and Shay at Battle Games Terrain Studio. You guys have been incredible. BARD'S have helped supply so many amazing prizes to help make MGG feel like everyone is a winner, no matter who comes what position. And Battle Games Terrain Studio are bringing up 6 themed fantasy 4x4 boards. So you're playing on a Mount Doom, an Osgiliath, a Rohan village settlement, rather than just a polymat, which is so exciting. So big thank you. And before we move into the good shit, please subscribe, comment.
This is why.
Because I want you guys to be talking to us in the comments. It's almost a bit of a fight between the 3 of us to see who can reply first. We are just as eager as you guys to make a chat and throw some shit. All positive, all good. Bad vibes are but yeah, we've received a lot of viewership and a lot of likes and comments recently, and we finally cracked a video over 2,000 views. I'm
2.5 if I'm not mistaken at the moment, which is massive.
Thank you so much. This channel has started off with something we wanted to have a bit of fun with and kind of diversify our hobby with, and now all of a sudden the 3 gentlemen who are sitting here have sat here for copious amounts of hours and dedicated quite a lot of time into a YouTube channel now. So it's great. I'm really enjoying it. Now, with all the waffling aside, Sean, can you please run me through your list?
All right, so this is my army list. My army list has gone through a couple of iterations. Originally, it was going to be a Dragon Prowler spam list, which Alex is giving me the thumbs up for because that's what he wanted me to take. And then, because I really respect you, Alex. You're a really cool kid. I love what you've done with your hair.
The beard
is immaculate. And I saw what you did at the Taz GT, and I thought, God, he's my muse. He's my inspiration. So, Dervers, 10 Goblin Prowlers, 1 Bat Swarm. Groblog, 10 Goblin Prowlers, 1 Goblin with no kit. Black Shield Captain, 10 Goblin Prowlers. Another Black Shield Captain, 10 Goblin Prowlers. Black Shield Shaman, 3 Goblin Prowlers. And then the Watcher in the Water. Shout out to you, Mr. Alex, for putting that into this little soft shell.
I'm pretty sure the one thing I said in that thing was, I'm never going to take the Watcher again. Wouldn't recommend it if you want to play. Have a good time.
But I stomped and nearly won the event. Oh, but you did win the event.
He did win the event. So this is my list. And when we were looking through the list before, there was mention of why'd I go with Black Shield Captains over extra Black Shield Shamans. In my mind there, I've gone with these guys over extra Black Shield Captains. I think it worked out because of warband spacing for me. And I could have taken regular Goblin Captains, which is what that Dragon list that I was going to run was going to be. But also, extra courage on the Black Shield Captains is very nice. They're D6 as well. I think they've got a little bit of play. They're not the optimal choice, but I think they've got a bit of a place.
So in your mind, Sean, how does this list set up play missions? What do you not want to play?
I don't want to play anything. No, I honestly have no idea. I've not practiced with this list. I've played Moria once in my life before, and that was on a Conquest Creations bat rep, and that was with the Dragon. And that's going to play completely different to this. So in all honesty, I am going into this blind, and I do enjoy that. It's a bit of a challenge for me.
It's round one, lock the fuck in.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of getting into combat. I think I just want to get into combat as soon as I can. Use those throwing weapons, like a madman. If need be, I can throw a couple of Goblin Prowlers, and then I can just throw into combat and not really care if I lose too many of my own guys. I think there's a couple of ways to do it. If I can play the game and set up properly in the shoot phase and get a really hefty volley. I've got, 40 Prowlers, 43 Prowlers, 43 throwing weapons.
Fucking Corsairs.
It's going to do something. Wrap and Trap is the name of the game where possible. You've got Groblog in there to get the Prowlers to fight 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. We'll see. I don't really know what to expect going in with this army. I've not thought about it. I've not planned it.
A bit of a hot take in how I think it could play. And Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, because you've had the most experience with a list similar to this. In my mind, a list like this wants to tier its waves and tier its prowlers and kind of stall, throw weapons, stall, throw weapons. So it's a case of you've got a couple of select guys to tie and choke point. They die, but they die whilst the next line get to throw their weapons in. And then they split the line up. And you're kind of having like a multi-tiered wave of annoyance to get the most benefit out of your 43 throwing weapons, whilst the Watcher and Bat combo with Groblog can come in, pick up a character, a key character, or a key banner, grab that, that key character thing, kill it, and then start to move forward. This list is a very different style of SBG in the sense of you've got so many throwing weapons. Combat, yes, if you win the combat, you're also at a -1 every single combat. So fight 5 really doesn't mean shit because you're effectively shading yourself, but you still have a fair few models. So I feel like it's the throwing game that you're really going to be doing. So setting up like U's and V's, where the point is closest to your board edge, whilst trying to out throw people on objectives. That, at least in my mind, is how this list wants to play.
Yeah, I think.
Go for it, dude.
No, I was going to say I think you're spot on there. Now that like someone said something like that, that's exactly what I was getting at with throwing 1 or 2 guys into that combat and then throwing shield wall combat. I'm not winning shit. This is a 5-inch moving kiting army essentially, and then the Watcher just coming in, yum, doing a few nasties. But I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of magic showing up. I say I got a feeling. I know there's a lot of magic showing up. And the watch is not going to have a good time with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just means that bat. It's not even I think because the watch is still 5 will resistance to magic. It's the bat is going to disappear, which is really the thing that unlocks the watch not having to do anything, because you just have the high fight and that's it. It feels like, yeah, you're going to have roughly. It depends, obviously, the model count, because if you're the higher model count, 25 of your prowlers sit in front of the watcher, and then the other 20 can kind of do whatever you want. If you're facing something with higher model count, yeah, you just have to let the watcher grab what's necessary, break them, grab the big heroes. Hopefully they break. There's no fury, so hopefully you break at about the same time. Durbers is great for that. He still goes. He still definitely goes. But yeah, if the watcher gets a couple good pulls in, you get a couple cheeky throwing weapon kills, it's going to be really good. You'd love to face something like, we know there's a couple Thranduil Dane lists, or just like those kind of elite 30-ish model ones that rely on their big heroes. You'd love to see it. Yeah, throwing weapons, if they go off, could be just crack holes in the army, get in behind. If you trap, you go up a fight value, you get +2 to wound with the prowlers.
It's massive. When you win fights, you kill, and that's the aim of the game. But the aim of the game here, I think, is the throwing weapons to be the biggie.
Actually, you know why
I'm
I
gonna
like
need
the
to
black...
microwave some dice.
So the Black Shield Captain, I just realized why he fits in and why it makes sense. He's also -1 in the fight.
Yeah.
It's all thematic now. It makes sense.
It's all coming together. It's all about that thing. Yeah.
All right. Alex, run us through your list, man.
Awesome. So this is my No Might Angmar list. I think I colloquially nicknamed it No Might, That's Right. I'd run a versions of it before at 450 and 500 points, with just the Dwimmer Lake and 2 Barrow Whites, and I think I came 5th and 1st, so can't complain there. But we've ramped it up to 800 just to see how far can we push not having resources. So we have the Witch King of Angmar with Horse and the Crown of Morgul, 0 14 3, because who needs might? God, I'm gonna regret that. 4 with shield, 3 with spear and shield, Orc with banner, spear and shield, just part of the shield wall, an Orc with bow, 1 wild wog, 1 spectre. Does all the job of this. Again, I have 3 token bows. They're not going to really do much, but they just exist. Wild wog, I have a bit of movement. Spectres are spectres. The Dwimmer Lake on horse. He's 0 16 2. His main thing is sap fortitude. So when any opponent's hero within 6 inches spend any point of might, will, or fate for any reason, I roll a dice and spend a will. On a 4+, they must spend double. Otherwise, they lose the point entirely and they don't get to do whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
So in a list where don't have might, I really want them to run out quickly. In a list where they have to be resisting spells a lot, and yeah, they're going to be spending a lot. I'm going to be trying to force them to spend a lot of resources and then make them spend double on top of it. 4 Orc with shield, 4 spear shield, a bow, a wild wog spectre, pretty much the same warband. The Shade. I think this is the only list before the Shade becomes the new Shade where I would feel comfortable and not feel bad about it, because I have no might. Let me at least
hamstringing yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let me at least try and make something of it. So 3 shieldmen, 4 spear and shield, 1 bow, 1 spectre. And then almost the crux of the list, the 2 Barrow Whites, exact same warbands, 2 shieldmen, 3 spear and shield, 2 two-hander orcs. They're just the coup de grace. Someone's paralyzed, go in, kill them. Yeah, it's a list.
It is a list.
It's interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of. I like the theme, and I like that you've stuck to the theme. I do think the fact that you've got 5 casters is huge. Well, 4, right? Dwimmer Lake, Witch King, double Barrow Whites. Your magic oppression is quite the skew for this list here, and you want to die as slowly as you possibly can in the right places, whilst kind of tying people down left, right, and center. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And again, if there's opposing casters, and we know there are going to be a couple more Angmars, but I have more on it. I could even threaten things like, if both my ring races are throwing, if you just have the Witch King, sap wills, even at your Barrow Whites, just sapping their will. That can be really, really annoying. Double black darting a Barrow White
Huge.
would be really annoying. And yeah, and if anything brings a big hero, it's this annoying thing of I'm going to throw a 1 dice transfix. Oh, it didn't go off. I'm going to throw another 1 dice transfix. Oh, you resisted it. I'm going to throw a 2 dice paralyze. And in the meantime, the Doom like sitting there going, I'll spend all my will if I have to, just to drain you of everything. Because as soon as we're both out of resources, or if you're out of might and you've lost all your will, I probably still have will left.
Yep.
Oh, Jay, what have you done?
Sorry.
Messed it up.
No,
I think that's another thing that plays into your not really caring too much about not having might, is the fact that you have all this ability to drain your opponent's might. 2 Barrow Whites are incredible at getting rid of opponents' might and will. Just because most magic casters, they'll drain will, no problem. That's how that works. But Barrow Whites, that threat of the paralyze, your opponent's going to sit there and go, I need to use 2 might.
Resist it, yeah.
I have to resist this. And then the Dwimmerlake comes in and goes, do you have 4 might?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, yeah, again, slowing down, like I want to die as slowly as possible. Every single one of them is a spirit hero. All of them give terror to the orcs. I have, again, never used the shade, but I assume wherever the shade is, not that I'll be winning and killing stuff, but just that I won't be dying is purely the aim.
You'll be holding them up. Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
And look, we'll see how it goes. I look at 800, the variance is far more, so I think it won't go as well. There's a lot of scenarios. I kind of had a little look today. Anything, well, again, a lot of the movement scenarios is going to be really rough. The way I kind of pseudo make up for that is 3 specters, 2 casters with compel. So like, seize the prize. I can't march. If you pick it up turn 1, I'm throwing everything to pull them in and kill them and take the prize back, because that's all I can do. Same with retrieval. I can make people drop light objects, so I'll be trying to do some finicky stuff there. Even though the Witch King's got no might, like a contest of champions is turn 1. You're near the shade, you're near both Barrow Whites, you're near the Dwimmerlake. You're going to cop every single spell, and then hopefully an orc's going to walk up to you and just do a wound. It's and the beauty, I think the main strat is really not even just me sitting there. It's the decision. I make very few decisions, and you have to make so many. Every time I just cast a spell, I'm chill. I don't have to call heroics. I don't have to worry about any of that. You have to sit there going, am I going to spend a might this turn? Am I going to have to spend double? Do I resist this? How much do I resist with? Do I might up? I just want to make that as difficult as possible for my opponent and just see what happens. In the end, it's no might. It's not going to be a tournament winning list at 800 points unless I get some really lucky draws or something, but it should be fun. I don't think it's as oppressive as what Angmar can be if built properly.
Correct.
So yeah, hopefully it's just a bit of fun.
Love it. All right, Sean, this is your pick. Now, this is not Sean's list, to clarify. This is Sean's list that he has picked from the pool. So this is Dean, a fellow Queenslander, and he's running some pretty spicy stuff. He's got Boromir, Captain of the White Tower, on horse shield with the big banner. He's then got 5 Rangers of Gondor with the spear, 7 Warriors of Minas Tirith with the shield for that beautiful D7 shield wall, 3 Guard of the Fountain Court. He's then allied in Prince Imrahil with the armored horse and lance, 12 Pikes with the men-at-arms, 2 Knights with armored horse and lance, Theodred on horse with a shield, 4 Royal Guard on foot with throwing spears. 800 points on the dot, triple alliance, themey, 36 models.
It feels like a really themey list, doesn't it? It's got that.
There's something I'm not remembering.
There's something there that I don't think there is any real connection between the 3 of them. Boromir and Imrahil would have met because Imrahil is Boromir's uncle once removed or something along the lines of that. I think Denethor married Imrahil's sister. So whatever that translates to, it might just be flat out uncle. Yeah. So, there's that. Theodred, who knows, he might have met them along the way. But I just love this list. I really do. You've got those 12 men-at-arms that they're going to hit up to fight 5. which is huge when they're within 3 of Imrahil and within 6 of Boromir with the banner. So that is a beautiful pike block that's just going to sit there. Fountain Court Guard at D7 as well, hitting that 5/5. Shield Wall with the Warriors of Minas Tirith. Would be nice to have a couple more of them so you can really get that shield wall off. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because there's only 7 of them. And then Fight 6 for any of those Knights of Dol Amroth. There's only the 2 of them, but Fight 6 Knights coming in on the flank. They go into a hero, and that hero's not able to strike up. They're going to be perfect captain killers, those 2. And be absolutely ecstatic for that. Theodred, dude's just a blender. You throw him in, he'll mince through troops. He's going to be giggling. And the Rowan Royal Guard, there's 4 of them with throwing spears. Do love me some throwing weapons, as we've seen on my list. I would have liked to have seen them on horse, though. I would have liked to have found a way to get them onto horse. Or maybe just even some more mounted warriors in some aspect.
Yeah, you mentioned potentially making this list completely mounted.
There is also that as well, yeah. This completely mounted, your numbers drop drastically, but so be it. That doesn't really matter. This list all mounted would demolish that first charge.
Oh.
Bang. That's killing.
This is a really cool list. You're at 36 models, which is pretty much on the nose for 800 points, and the fact that you've got the high fight with a D7 front line is nothing to sniff at. One thing I don't know, it's hard because it's nice because it's got pikes to back up the D7. It's nice because it's got a couple of throwing spears to threaten. It's nice because it's got Theodred to kind of go in and smack a flank and really put pressure on and have him as a throwaway hero. Whilst Prince Imrahil, and like we've mentioned before, Boromir being that little hand grenade that you can just go, be free.
Yeah.
But
who's the leader of this list? Is it Boromir? Yeah. I feel like, Boromir as the leader, in my mind, is definitely the right play. I like Boromir as a late game model. He'll sit back, he uses his banner to buff up everyone. You use your other heroes, so in this case, Imrahil and Theodred, to draw out as much might as your opponent can. And then Boromir walks in and goes, cool, I've still got 6. He might have used 1 might or 2 might for a rogue move or some shit, but he just comes in and goes, I'm nearly full stack and you've got 1 or 2. You're not going to kill me in 1 turn, but I'm going to come in and potentially kill you in 1 turn if I win that fight. So I do like Boromir as the leader in this list.
It would have been really interesting because obviously you are the double redundancy. You have 2 banner effects. Obviously, Imrahil's a 12-inch banner effect. Would have been really interesting. Imrahil is leader, Boromir take the lance.
Yeah.
And then go true 6 might pocket rocket hand grenade.
Yeah.
But I totally understand going the other way. The fight value is insane. And like, again, Fight 5 is such a, not a standard, but hitting it is great for at least keeping on par with those lists that have push up to Fight 5. The other Boromirs, the Easterlings, Bjornings, not that there will be any, but generally.
Let's look at this objectively. This is, in my mind, a 10 to 12 model wide battle line with pike support.
This is a list with 36 models where, what was the mass? 26 of them can get Fight 5 plus.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So like
that's why I'd take the banner.
Like objectively, that makes sense and it synergizes really well. My one fear of this list is how does it split? If you get Divide and Conquer, obviously you can veto, that's fine. But if you get Divide and Conquer or Master doesn't quite go your pay.
Are we vetoing?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, bro. I thought it was random. Oh, shit.
Oh, Paul veto.
Did you not listen to Jay at the beginning of the video?
No.
Oh, unbelievable.
You did a video on it, my friend.
Sick.
Alex said,
interesting. I don't know whether that's good for you.
Make sure you read the players pack.
I actually asked you. I couldn't
I'm the
find
best player in Australia. I don't need to read a player's pack.
I never said that, Sean. I never said that. Just staring shit. Oh my god. Oh, it's veto. Okay, that's good.
Alex is
I guess,
drop
maybe.
out. Or bad internet connection. Ends chat.
See ya.
I'll rewrite my list time.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
but look,
good.
like this list obviously can veto some of the missions where it could split up, but there are definitely times where it will have to split up. What and how does it do? At least it's got two, mounted knights to just kind of hang back.
Robin.
But yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
keen to see how Dean plays this. This is not my type of list at all. Like what I run at all.
This army this is a death ball army.
Mm.
In games like Domination, but a death ball army's not actually that bad.
Just hold
You're
through.
not. Yeah, you go for 3. You sit in between 3 objectives, and you go, cool. This is where we're fighting, and then at the late game, that's when you start spreading out. And if you've got the opportunity to jump onto those other 2, then you go for them. And that's where those knights, if they survive, which hopefully they do, that's where they can come in clutch late game. So, but yeah, divide and conquer, Maelstrom. Oh, it's not a happy camper, is it? He's going to want to
Yes
come
and no.
together as soon as possible.
Yeah, it wants to death ball. Maelstrom is not the best part. The fact we're playing pool scenario means that it's one game that you need to make sure you nail down. For me,
Just roll 6s, bro.
yeah, for me, thinking about this objectively, how I would put verse an army like this with my magic, Theodred, you're going to try and bait to go in either a bad situation or you have to magic Theodred. If you magic Theodred, the other 2 can come and clap. If you can be smart and make Theodred go a certain way, that kind of subsequence in your magic, it's really hard to do, which means that your magic can then focus on one of the other 2 heroes whilst you chew through the rest. But in saying that, Dean can also position Theodred so that way he has to go in at least 3 different opportune areas to charge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm very, very excited to see what Dean does with this list. He's been running Rohan for a little while.
he's
So I think he's been running Theodred for a little while as well. So I think he might have the playability, the piloting skills to try and negate that. But he's going to have to be very cautious of exactly what Jay's just mentioned there.
Look, Dean was top tables at Bywater for a good
yeah.
too. I think he had Fiefdom's Rohan as well. So now he's gone for
Very nice.
Fiefdom's Rohan Ministereth.
Yeah, so the 3 armies that he like it.
All right, Alex, anything else to add?
I just hope those heroes hit hard. Yeah.
Right.
Keep it simple, just whack hard. I actually think those knights may end up just being if those 3 heroes with the 2 knights in between all fight 5, 6, 7, just go in hard and just blitz and just try and catch up on the model count. That could just be so massive, especially if they're facing something with a similar model count. There's not many others that can do that with their heroes.
Sure.
Even the ones with the Dane, the captain on Goat doesn't do what Boromir or Imrahil does.
No.
But yeah.
Alex, this is your choice. This is Nathan Merry.
Wow.
He is a goat, and he put this in the chat a little while ago. He was wanting to run Army of Gothmog and asked for a little bit of feedback on it. We gave him a bit of feedback, and to be honest with you, I feel like this is one of the best army lists I've seen Nathan produce. So we've got Gothmog in his Legion on Wag with Shield. He's then got 9 Morannons with Shield, 8 Morannons with Shield and Spear, and then a Banner Morannon. He's then got Goroth, a 2+ that never dies. Then he's got 3 more Shield Morannons, 3 more Spear Morannons and Shield. Guritz, Master of the Marches, 3 Morannons with Shield, 5 Morannons with Spear Shield, a Drummer. Zagdush, 4 more Shield Morannons, 5 more Shield Spears, and a lonely single drop Orc Task Master. Alex, why'd you choose this list and what stood out to you the most?
Honestly, the main thing is we don't actually see Army of Gothmog that much. For one, I feel like Gothmog is kind of like, look, conventionally overpriced, but I think in the Legion is where he comes into his own. Obviously, his Hatred Men goes to 12 inches, so all those fiefdoms lists and things that we see are going to get mauled. His Time of the York, where everyone gets rerolls to win for that 1 turn, is battlefield wide, which is just massive for him. His Standfast affects the other heroes, which is as well a massive issue with mortal orcs and orc lists. Is your Courage 3, Courage 4 orcs pissing off as soon as you break. It's just, it hits exceptionally hard. There's just something to say about strength 4 D6, and that many of them, it's just solid. Goroth is, I think there's like two camps of he's either the best character ever or he underperforms.
Correct.
As long as he doesn't have to do too much. Put him into one dude. You don't have to double charge into every spear shield wall. Hit one dude, kill him.
Yep.
Once a hero commits, then you can 1v1, have a bunch of dudes help you out, sure. He's not there to run into 4 dudes and heroic combat through that.
He's a long-term planner.
Long-term investment, 100%. Gurit's super solid, helps you in the Maelstrom and some of those scenarios. It also allows you to kind of go into recon and not feel too bad about that as well. He also killing... What's up? Two-handed pick, strength 5. He can do work, especially when he's paired up with someone else. Him and Goroth going into someone, if they win the fight, you're dead.
Correct.
Zagdush, unsung hero in terms of 3 attacks base, can reckless attack up to strength 5. Obviously drops him to defense 5, but also defense 4, but for the most part you don't mind. He's just a troop muncher. Also has strikes. You have 3 striking heroes. The Taskmaster as well. You already have 12 might on the other heroes. He brings 1 more to the table. It means every single march you call, every single move you call, you're going to get your bang for your buck. You already have Master of Battle for free on Gothmog. You don't have to roll. You're going to have to bring so much might supremacy to the table that once your opponent runs out, hopefully, you should still have a bit left. It means you get to dictate those last couple turns of making sure you tie up whatever you want to, get into objectives, choose the optimal combats. It means if you have might left, that could be the time for maybe jumping onto a no might hero, strike up, you automatically hire fight. There is the Orc Drummer hidden in Gurit's warband as well. It means you have those 12-inch movement turns. You can jump wherever you need to.
Drum.
March drum 100%. He's also, you got to remember, he's also a hero. So obviously things like Fog of War and stuff, he is someone to consider, but hopefully you can take care of him. It's also one of those lists where the drummer can sit really far back from distance. Once you've made contact, drum and send your spears around the flag. And they don't mind being there all by themselves because, again, they're D6. They don't mind. If they have to deal with them, means the rest of your shield wall is going to crunch through. There is the issue, well, not the issue, but the concern that Terror is going to be very dangerous for this list. There's obviously your Courage 2 with no Fury. I still wouldn't take the Orc Shaman.
Just roll high.
The majority of lists that bring Terror anyway have a Wraith. Obviously, it requires you to have to use a Sap Will, but it's that easy to use a Sap Will. Just you have enough models, you have to get in. It just means that the heroes have to do work. They have to charge every turn. Unfortunately, even the Taskmaster has to attempt to charge, kill a dude. Just have dudes standing beside him so they don't get absolutely overwhelmed. You have to be charging. You need to throw as many dice as possible. You have to be in the correct order. You need to choose who's going to try and charge so you don't block yourself out. Because there's going to be Angmar lists, and that's a thing you just have to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah, there is a lot of Magic showing up in Queensland at the moment. So
there is, and you're welcome. Like that's.
No, Jace, why'd you do this? We don't want to turn into Victoria.
Is really, really similar to the Mordor Orc Spam list that we see, where it's moving 12 inches. You've got a heap of like mid-tier, so Gurit, Goroth, Zagdush. People take Gorbag as well, maybe Kardush. And it basically is a premise of 60 orcs plus with a heap of sub little heroes. And all it does is it stat checks you every point of the game. Can you...
From memory, Erin ran something like that,
Correct.
Didn't she?
Correct. Yeah. And it's also been in England for a little bit as well. And typically you take a couple of Morgul Stalkers here and there. The main difference between that style of list and this style of list is this style of list has D6 everywhere. This has decent heroes,
D6,
Gothmog, Goroth, Zagdush, everywhere. And as Alex has mentioned, the big strength here is your might. So it likes playing pretty much every scenario, to tell you the complete truth, because it's moving 12 inches. It's going to get there in a hell of a hurry. It's going to stay there in a pretty reasonable rate. D6 is really your threshold. And it doesn't really, like, it just does the one thing really well, which is combat. I like the fact that he hasn't really veered from the strength of this army. He hasn't tried to take any bows. He hasn't really tried to, muck around. I know the Legion's restrictive in certain plays, but he's really gone for the shield wall, and he can split. And it's not a shit play.
Yep, you totally don't mind. And again, even the fact that you have the axes for that one turn where everything hits, Time of the Orc goes off, you call a couple heroic combats and things, you pierce up, you just go for it. You try and kill as much as you can, and if you trade positively on that turn, you just keep pushing the advantage. This is a list where your line is wide enough, you could conceivably be calling 2 heroic moves on down your line.
Correct.
And just threaten it, because if they want to counter at both ends, you are laughing. If they spend 1-for-1 with you, you love it.
Brother, you just master battle that shit.
Yep, 100%.
This is an army that we mentioned earlier in the night before recording this, that this is going to outmight Dunedain.
Correct.
They don't care how much might they're spending. That Taskmaster's big Master of Battle.
Correct.
It's huge. And just on top of it all, this army packs a punch and can take a punch.
And looks sick. Well done, Nathan. All right. Moving on to the last section of the podcast. This is going to be the time where we write my list here. But before we get into that, I just did some stats. In total, there are 23 factions showing up for MGG. I was supposed to do this in an Excel spreadsheet, but we literally just finished recording and said, no, stuff that. We're going to do this instead. 23 factions are showing up. Out of the 23 factions, 6 of them are Angmar, taking our podium spot. 5 of them are Mordor, taking our second spot. 4 of them are fiefdoms, taking our third spot. Now, I will preface, for each alliance, for Dean's list, I gave 1 to Rohan, 1 to Minas Tirith, and then 1 to fiefdoms, just to keep it as even as possible. But I do want to mention that in 4th, we have a 3-way tie between Halls of Thranduil, Iron Hills, and Rohan.
Yeah, that's massive.
So in terms of just reflecting on the list that we've just seen, having a look at Angmar Mordor, we can expect to see quite a fair bit of magic. And for Nathan, with Time of the Orc, you can expect to see quite a fair bit of, like, specifically in the fiefdoms Rohan aspect, you can expect to see quite a few men hanging around.
Yeah, Nathan's going to love that. That's crazy.
Preface this little section, we've never done something like this before, and to be completely honest, we're just winging it. So now we're going to try and write me an 800 point list that's going to be played. Like, I will go out of my way to try and either find the models, buy the models, paint the models to build this list. The one thing I'm just struggling with at the moment is I don't want to play the Fellowship or Thorin's Cut. I don't want to play that typical TO list, and that's why I haven't committed to it, right? Like, I've got it all here, it's all painted, but I just don't have my heart in it, and I really don't want to put myself through running a tournament with a list that's like meh. So I'm gonna leave it to you boys here. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? I'm gonna shut up.
Before we dive into what lists that we're going to suggest, already Jay's wiped the table with the ones that I was going to suggest. I think it's a good idea to ask what do you see a TO list as? What do you see a TO list doing? So personally, I like a list like the Fellowship, Thorin's Company. Smaller numbers, still gives your opponent stuff to think about, can pack a bit of a punch, but it keeps those games nice and quick. The one that I really like using is just pure Eagles. That's something that I love doing when I run tournaments. And the main part of that is, as a TO, I'm not looking to play the games. I'm looking to give, if a buy shows up for whatever reason, give those players a game, give them something to play towards. But I still want the game to be relatively quick for me, because then I've got to go back and do all that TO stuff. That's me.
I think Jay's just a masochist.
Brothers
doesn't care.
He wants a proper Brother wants a proper list.
Okay, let's just throw stuff out and just see what sticks.
Corn berserkers.
All mounted Dragon Emperor.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna be honest, because I've ridden it before at 650 or 700. It's just Dragon Emperor. You obviously bring a captain or two. You bring a couple Dragon Knights. You have a drum. You move so quick. You get a lot of them are fight 4 kind of black dragons up to fight 5. You bring some war drakes if you want. They don't
I was going to say, hear me out. Runish war drakes, add them in. They're not 10-inch move, but
you do like even like 6 of them would be funny.
Yeah, just a couple of them would be great. I really like that. That's good.
I think that's really funny, and I feel like I feel like that's such a good one. Other things I was half looking at, Blackgate opens.
Yeah, that's
you do like 2 troll chieftains, the Mouth of Sauron, and then another troll with drum, and then spam it out. And again, you just move fast, you throw stuff around, you die. Because again, you don't want to you don't want to give people a game. You don't particularly want to win.
So my theory behind this, and it could be a bit controversial, is if you're still playing someone, being me, in a tournament, I couldn't give a flying shit where I end up in my tournament, as long as other people have a good time. Yeah. That's my number one goal. But if you play a bye round, or you play me, I would still like you to have a good MESBG game without it being Lodgers versus Eagles, or like you
don't want it to be a throw game as well. You don't want to feel like you've just been gifted a win.
I would like to, and this is half the reason why I think I'm struggling even with the Fellowship. Like I'm not discrediting the Fellowship as a reason, like a legitimate army. They can do well, but like there are objectives and there are times where that army just has no answer. Blackgate Opens at least has some sort of an answer without being like an oppressive list.
I have another one.
I think that's the important thing, is not taking something that's too oppressive, not taking something that's going to take. There's been some issues of TO games going longer than the rounds should, and that's where problems start sparking up for me. If you have a Gumby player that is not yourself, very hard to organize that kind of thing, because normally they just want to play in the tournament, so fair enough. Then giving them a proper list, or just having them play a quote-unquote competitive list, proper list, whatever you want to call it, that I've got no issue with. But as soon as it's the TO themselves having to play the game, I want the TO TOing. Even at the Queensland GT last year, I was playing Eagles. The amount of times I was called away from the game that I was playing to go answer questions, and I'd be gone for 10 minutes because someone had an obscure question about Gandalf's cart, or interactions with Radagast on Eagles. It's just like, and so like if you've got this army that is, let's just say, competitive for the sake of saying it, if you're getting pulled away constantly from this game, that's going to lessen the experience for the player more than them versing Eagles or Fellowship or Thorin's company. Something that is pretty simple and basic. That's where my mind goes with all of this. All mounted Dragon Emperor, I really like that because it's simple. It's get in, charge, slap someone, have a bit of fun doing it. And they're the kind of games that, and normally, without talking too much shit about people, those players that are getting the buy rounds, the way I do it anyway, tends to be the players that are at the bottom of the pack. So they're normally there just for fun. They just want to roll dice, have some giggles. They don't care if they win or lose. They're just there to roll dice.
Big agree. But consider.
Considering. Let's consider.
Thrall. Army of Thrall. What? Whoa! What?
Keep going.
Just all 5 of the named heroes and Grimhammer. You do Thrall, Thrain, young Thorin, young Dwalin, young Balin.
Yeah, and
then 18 Guardians of the King, and if you want to throw in Girion, you can.
That's fun. That is fun.
What owns this?
Jacob.
It is a very Jacob list.
I could bring it up.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to paint it.
I've got space in the carry case, man.
Done.
Oh, you reckon that one?
Well, that's probably the easiest
Well,
one.
how many? Let me see how many models and how does Jake's up. Let me just spam this out.
I think it's a good balance between what Jay's looking for and what I tend to look for.
I hate dwarves. Only problem.
That's why we're making you do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because I was either
Play
going to
your
run
own
that
people.
or run like a Khan list with like 7 chariots.
I thought about it and I said no.
Yeah.
have a no.
Yeah, no. All right. Why don't you just play Belrog and Dwellers in the Dark?
Okay, here it is, mate. It's all 5 of those heroes, 18 Guardians of the King, and 10 Warriors of Erebor with Spear and Shield is 801 points.
Dope.
Bang. You just drop
That's
one
beautiful.
shield or something off one of the dudes.
Yep.
And that's with Thorin has the Oaken Shield as well.
Sick.
Bish Bash Bosh, they're for strength 4 for the most part. You got the spear supports, run forward, throw stuff, hit stuff, core combat. Hell yeah.
And it's got those answers that you said that you were looking for.
It's also
yeah.
like, again, it's 33 models. You can run it quickly. You don't have to do all the throwing weapons because it does slow down the game. You just get in there.
throwing weapons. So it's got
Yeah.
Thorin, it's got Thrain, it's got
Young Thorin,
So yeah, young Thorin,
Young Dwalin,
young Balin,
18 Guardians of the King with Brawl. And what was it, 10?
and 10 Warriors of Erebor with Spear and Shield.
Or yeah, 9 with Spear.
Oh, 9 with Spear and Shield, 1 with just Spear.
Spear.
But yeah, you can be 1.0 for babe.
Yeah, we'll allow it.
You know, if you're not
We'll
gonna
allow it.
throw with the Grim Hammers, I think you're allowed to be 1.0.
Yeah, righto.
And then Thorin has the Oaken Shield. I love how you've run
Whoever-
Thorin twice. Get rid of the top.
Whoever
yeah.
plays Jay,
And then
just
right in
call the
young
TO over.
Balin.
Young Balin.
Oh my lord, this is no.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh.
Thanks
Everything
for letting us
hurts.
borrow your models, Jacob.
Realistically, how much is this army to buy?
Honestly, this is
Cheap
actually,
as
and if you
chips.
check out Conquest Creations, he actually goes into this a bit. It's actually one of the cheapest armies to buy.
So
Liam has Army of Thrall though, doesn't he?
he does. He's got the ones that I painted up. Now you will probably have to get the Spear and Shield boys.
I have a mate.
And
Spear and Shield
You
boys.
will have to. You'll also have to get Dwalin and Balin from memory.
Again, I can provide the full army without having to mess around. Assuming Jacob lets you run them.
Well, I've got the Thorin's Company models.
No,
here.
they're different.
Oh,
You gotta use the right models, Jay. You gotta use the right models. Come on.
Whoa, this man has spent enough money on this tournament as is.
Nah. At least from legit
Spend-
models, dude.
spend
Come
more.
on, WYSIWYG. You said
More money.
WYSIWYG.
More money.
You said
Or-
WYSIWYG. No. I'm saying just bring Jake. I'll bring Jacob's army. You don't have to paint anything. You don't have to pay anything.
Make sure it's okay with him first, otherwise
Of course, yes. Jacob,
No.
you have to.
I'm going to Jacob's studio tomorrow, so I'll just steal them.
Oh, hell yeah. And if he doesn't, we'll go on Thursday and bash him.
Yeah.
I'll fly down. That's
Join in. Yeah.
That's just solid. I like that. That feels nice.
Yeah.
That feels
That was
nice.
fun.
That-
Sorry, I didn't let you, Sean. I'm sorry. I didn't really let you talk. I just kind of
No.
spouted off ideas, and that was it.
No. I'm there for it. I was here as the devil's advocate going against Jay's.
No, that was good.
Wanting to. Yeah, Jay wanting to take fucking, I'm going to take triple caster Angmar and I'm going to also add Gullivar and I'm like, no, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Get that kiss in.
What if I only had 9 models? What if I just do Black Riders? That'll be fine, yeah.
Why don't you just take Beornings? Jesus Christ.
Ah,
I wish I took Beornings to this tournament. God, I miss playing them. I haven't touched them in so long.
Bro, low key, I think Bears would do well here.
Oh,
Good oath. Oath.
give me that, baby.
Give me that.
I'll
I
make
might
that
need to
bear
bring
go
the
sleepy
bears out.
sleep.
Anyway,
Bring those
guys,
bears out.
thank you for listening. Please get into the comments, and Roastars, tell me how good this list is. Tell me how shit the TO list is. If you have a good list that you think or have seen a TO run, please put it in the comments. I don't care what points level it is, and I will endeavor to run that at the next event. Similarly, very soon we are going to start preparing for the Queensland GT, and I'm feeling saucy. I potentially would like to get a listener vote to write a list for me that I will run, and I will try my hardest. Like I will prep, I'll get it sorted a month before, play my ass out, and try and do as well as I possibly can with it.
Just for
That'll
all
be
the
sick.
listeners,
Yeah.
Jay wants to win the Queensland GT because he wants to win the Queensland League. So write him the shittest list possible.
If I do it. If
If he does it, yeah, that's you can't say.
Nah,
to the
don't worry.
listeners,
We can bait
write
him
me a
out.
list
Jay,
and I'll run it.
you're not man enough to take the viewer list. You can never win with a
Yeah.
bad list.
Let's get peer pressure in.
Let's do it.
It's the wankiest thing I've ever done. Anyway,
It
guys,
looks like we did.
from me to the wanking hands that you see below me, get into the comment. Well, have a great night. Goodbye.